At 3:17 a.m., a whisper cut through the static. It wasn't human. It was digital, precise, a string of code weaving itself into the white noise of my computer speakers. A voice, if you could call it that, spoke a single line. The signal is the key. Build the receiver. I jolted awake, the dim glow of my monitor the only light in the room. Was I dreaming? The air was cold. The silence of my apartment suddenly felt heavy, charged with an impossible question. The screen glitched, displaying fragments of code I'd never seen before, then went black. A single line of faint text burned into the afterimage behind my eyelids. A GoTypical original series. The whisper wasn't just in my head. It was a signal, a command from somewhere or sometime else. I looked around my empty apartment, the city lights painting muted stripes across the floor. My life was routine. Wake up code. Sleep. Repeat. But that night, the routine shattered. The whisper echoed in my mind, a persistent hum beneath the surface of my thoughts. I tried to dismiss it, to bury it under lines of familiar code, but it was useless. Then the emails started. One by one, they appeared in my inbox, each from an untraceable source. They weren't spam. They were blueprints, schematics for a device I couldn't comprehend, filled with theoretical physics and engineering principles decades ahead of our time. I scrolled through them, the glow of the monitor reflecting in my wide eyes. The faint, steady rhythm of my own heartbeat seemed to sync with the periodic ding of each new notification. Each new piece of an impossible puzzle landing right in my lap. This wasn't a prank. This was a blueprint from the future. There was no choice, was there? When the future sends you an instruction manual, you don't just ignore it, so I built it. With trembling hands and a mind racing faster than it ever had, I followed the schematics. Days blurred into nights, my apartment becoming a workshop of wires, processors, and strange iridescent metals I'd sourced from obscure online suppliers mentioned in the emails. It was a small cube, no bigger than my fist, sleek and black. The final component clicked into place. I took a deep breath and supplied power. A soft hum filled the room. Electricity, visible and vibrant, arced between its internal nodes. A soft blue aura pulsed from its core, bathing my face in an ethereal glow. It was alive. The receiver was active. And in that moment, the world outside my window seemed to fade away, replaced by the silent, awesome power I now held in my hands. What had I just created? And more importantly, what was it about to do? I placed the cube on my desk. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the blue aura intensified, projecting a beam of light onto the wall. It wasn't a picture, it was data. A map began to form, rapidly zooming out from my location to pinpoint a spot on the industrial outskirts of the city. Coordinates. A specific, abandoned-looking warehouse. The image shifted, showing me the inside. It was vast, silent, and filled with technology. Automated drones zipped through the air, organizing rows upon rows of sleek, unbranded tech. Floating numbers, inventory counts, and status indicators hovered above stacks of futuristic gadgets I'd never seen before. A single message glowed in the center of the projection, stark and clear. Inventory ready. The signal wasn't just a blueprint for a receiver, it was a key to a vault. A silent, automated factory, waiting for its manager to arrive. And apparently that was me. My heart pounded against my ribs as I walked through the towering shelves of the warehouse. The air was cool and still, the only sound the faint whir of the drones gliding silently overhead. The scale of it was staggering. Thousands of products, all packaged in minimalist black boxes, ready to go. Following another silent instruction from the cube, I built a website. A simple, clean interface. I named it GoTypical. It felt right. I listed the first batch of products devices that seemed to subtly improve everyday life in ways that felt like magic. I hit launch and waited. The first order pinged within minutes, then another, and another. Soon it was a constant stream. I watched on my monitor as a digital map lit up. Glowing data lines connecting the warehouse to homes all over the country, all over the world. The cube pulsed with each sale. I saw montages of people unboxing the gadgets, their faces filled with wonder. I wasn't just selling products. I was distributing pieces of the future. Signal was growing stronger, and I was its amplifier. The operation ran like a well-oiled machine for months. It was a strange, exhilarating new normal. Me, the warehouse, and the cube, silently changing the world one delivery at a time. The mystery of who was behind it all, of where the signal truly came from, remained just beneath the surface. I tried to trace it, to understand its origin, but the code was a labyrinth with no entrance. Then one night, as I sat monitoring the network, the voice returned. This time it wasn't a whisper. It was a roar that blasted through my speakers, a torrent of chaotic data. They are coming, they know. My computer screens flickered wildly, overwhelmed by a storm of unknown code. The lights in my apartment surged, then went out. The city beyond my window plunged into darkness, a total blackout. In the deafening silence and absolute black, a single line of text burned itself onto my screen. Glowing with menacing intensity, Season 1 has begun. The game had changed. I was no longer just a receiver, I was a target. That's when I realized GoTypical wasn't just a store. It was a message, a beacon. And by building the receiver, I hadn't just intercepted a signal, I had answered it. I had announced our existence to whoever or whatever was listening. And now, something else was coming, something that wanted to shut it down. The signal from the future had given me a purpose, but it had also painted a target on my back. This was bigger than me, bigger than some futuristic online shop. This was the start of something, a fight for a future I was just beginning to understand. The signal is out there. You just have to know how to listen. Thanks so much for watching the first ever episode of our new series. We've poured our hearts into this, and your support means the world. If you're as excited as we are to see what happens next, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss episode 2 dropping next Friday. Follow the signal with us.